Hey, welcome to WTFSutter. It's September 9th, and I just want to first thank and congratulate SOA fans for an awesome premiere showing, way beyond expectations that myself or anybody, quite frankly, had. We're thrilled. You know, I think the response to the premiere has been great, and I think you'll continue to enjoy where we're going this season. As I just got done toning episode 411, called Call of Duty, my ode to gaming episode. That's all I'll say. Again, thank you, and as you know, I'm back on Twitter. It's a long story, or not, it's not really a long story at all. It's a short, sad story, actually. But I blogged about my reasons for coming back, and go into a bigger explanation on my blog at sutterinc.com. To our questions. Oh yeah, and I am actually going to pick out the winners. I'm going to follow through on my deal that I made. I will fly 2 people out to LA and put them up, and to watch the episode. It's either going to be 10 or 11 that we'll watch, depending, quite honestly, on my schedule. But we'll do it, and I think we're going to try to turn it into something cool, and maybe do a screening somewhere, and try to invite some cast members, and turn it into maybe a DVD extra or something. So I think it'll be fun, and I'm going to, basically exploit it as much as I possibly can to my own end, all the while creating a fun and educational experience for yourself. And I will send a couple swag baskets to our international international fans who I know are patiently waiting and not illegally downloading Season 4. First question comes from Alan Wade, and Alan asks, Kurt, have you ever thought about making a prequel movie, maybe for TV, about the Sons of Anarchy with a different, meaning younger cast version of the key characters? Thought about this when the new promos first came out. Again, thanks for giving us fans something to look forward to, even if it's only 13 weeks a year. Alan Wade from Weatherford, Texas. You know, I haven't really thought about movies so much. My sense is, like, I just feel like every fucking TV show that goes off the air is now doing a movie, and which just feels like bullshit to me, quite honestly. But I have actually thought about in terms of maybe another series that would involve the first 9, and I've been sort of kicking around that idea, which I think would be cool to have it be actually a period piece that took place in the 60s, where we meet John Teller and the first 9 guys before they ever really became the club that we knew, and before really Gemma or anybody else showed up. So that's sort of an idea I'm kicking around, that I've loosely begun to broach that subject with the network, and whatever possibilities or form that would take, I don't know. It definitely would not be. I don't think it would be a movie. It would be somewhere in the TV realm, maybe a TV movie, or potentially something serialized. But that's really it. I really don't think I'll ever do a Sons movie, because it's a fucking TV show, and fuck movies, man. Who goes to movies anymore? Let's do another question. I kid. I actually do go to movies. I'll hear about that. Let's see. I will say that most of these emails I'm getting now are about, please can I spend Thanksgiving with you, which I appreciate. Okay. Hi Kurt, my name is Jason Bennett. I love the show and I love being its #1 fan. One of my favorite scenes is from the first season when Otto slams Agent Stahl's head into the table repeatedly. That was amazing. It actually made Otto become my favorite character. Wow. That being said, my question for the segment is, are we ever going to see Otto get out of prison? I mean, he is the one member of the club that has yet to be seen in his cut. Your character deserves to ride at least once in the show, right? At the very least, is it possible to get maybe a flashback episode in which we get to see him ride with his brothers? Thanks for taking the time out of what seems to be a very busy schedule to talk to fans. Can't wait to see what the new season has in store for us in a couple of weeks. Sincerely, with the utmost respect, Jason Bennett. Well, thank you for your respect, Jason. And it's a good question, man. I think, I've said this before. For me, Otto, first of all, I'm the only one that will actually employ me as an actor. And for good reason. Otto really, for me, was a device, a device, an expository device, because so much of the information these guys get in this world comes from the prison system. So he was really sort of the guy in there that we could go to get intel on perhaps some storyline that was going to generate from the prison system. And we were able to sort of turn that into the dynamic that happened with Stahl in season 1, and yeah, that was a fun scene to do, and Ali Walker was such a champion to let us do that. I don't think he'll get out. We'll discover in season 4. I'm not sure what episode, but we'll get some backstory in terms of why Otto's in jail and what's going on. But the idea that we've seen Otto commit so many crimes already just in prison, and as often happens to these guys, is that their need to survive inside causes them to do things that will continue to get them in deeper trouble and add time to their sentence. So a lot of these guys ultimately just become lifers, and that's really what's happened to Otto. So there is no way he's getting out at this point, not after the things we've seen him do. As far as flashbacks, I've said we don't really do flashback episodes. The closest thing we've ever done to a flashback was, the hallucinogenic moment that Jax has in season 3, where, we play, Clay and his father, and, that really, for me, I didn't consider that a flashback. I considered that sort of a, a stylized device in terms of what was going on with Jax emotionally, and that's in that moment that is what he saw. We won't really be doing flashbacks. It's really not that kind of show. I just feel like it would really, the same way a dream sequence, does, is that to me it just sort of pulls us out of the reality and the instantaneous impact of these guys living moment to moment to moment to moment, and to do, to lean on one of those devices, I feel like is going to slow the show down and ultimately isn't true to what we've created here. So I thank you for your question. I thank you for your questions. Keep them coming, and I will continue to answer them. Episode 2. What's episode 2 called? Remember?
At this point, they all run together.
It's called episode 2, man. I totally fucking forget what it's called, but it's Tuesday night, 10 p.m. FX, and follow on Twitter if you care to. Sutter Inc. Thanks.